Thank you.
Yeah, make this short and sweet for us. I'm still throwing it out there. I love. What? Oh, thank you. Yeah, he was outside. I said that. Oh, but thank you.
I didn't hear you.
Good job. So we are missing one person though still?
Brandon's on his way. He's coming.
Oh, okay.
He had to do something about it.
Okay. All right. There. Hi. Come on in. Now we can start. Danny's here. So how long will it be before Brandon's here?
Oh, he's slipping.
How long will it be till Brandon's back?
He should be here like within 5 minutes.
He was like,
5 minutes?
I'm going to text him right now.
Okay. I mean, should we wait
Go ahead.
or should we go?
You go ahead.
Or was that like 5 minutes, like Matt said when he was late to the bus the other day?
He made it.
Pretty close to
That was pretty big. More like 10 or 15.
It's only 5.
Okay, that's true. That's true. All right.
Yeah, 7 seconds.
Yeah. So maybe solve for just a minute. Just in case you didn't hear in there, all the things about this team in general were amazing. That came together and competed in a new league that we knew from, as soon as it was formed, I knew it was going to be a heck of a lot tougher than our old league, but I knew that would also be good for us, especially with this team coming in. And to finish tied for second, I've been going to coaches meetings since about this time last year. We had our first coaches meeting, and I just sat back and listened to them and kind of chuckled inside because a couple of coaches talked about, it's going to be between Oak Park and Royal, and then Simi and maybe Moore Park and Camarillo battle for 4th and 5th place. And I just kind of laughed inside and let them talk and figured I'd let the season and the play speak for itself. So very few people in our community, including those coaches, gave us much of a chance. These guys achieved and played well and really came together. I thought around the St. Louis tournament and kind of figured some things out and started playing extremely well together. And to do that and to beat Royal for the first time in school history and to do it twice is amazing. And the reason I kind of hold them as a benchmark is they've been one of the dominant teams of the county of Southern California since volleyball began in the late 80s in this area. They had won when they were in Marmoni League, and that was newly formed. They had won 13 straight years of the league championship, where they had only lost one match in that entire 13 years. And that was to Thousand Oaks, and outside of that one match, they'd only lost one other set. So to me, that's always been a little bit of a benchmark, because when I began coaching, we were in the Marmoni League for a few years with them, and since then I played them in playoffs a few times, and just always kind of held them in high regard. And to do that and to do it twice was an amazing accomplishment for me. And that's why I just wanted to give you guys the history to let you know what a great thing that is. So you guys accomplished it. Good job. Give yourselves a hand. And then again, I've been coaching 19 years and been in Division II. It was at least twice, 2 different times, I think 3 different times, for a total of 6 to 8 years. And then the school was in Division II before I was coaching also. And in the entire school history of volleyball, about 30 years of volleyball, no team here, and it's boys or girls, had ever won a Division II playoff game. We won plenty of Division III playoff games, but never before a Division II playoff game. And you guys not only did that, you did it twice, and you came in as a 3rd seed and knocked off 2 number 1 seeds from their league. And that's something else that wouldn't happen and never happened in the 13 years we were in the Pacific View League. The 3rd place team from that league never won a single playoff game. The 2nd place team usually was about 50-50 on winning and never won more than a 2nd round game. And you guys went into Division II and as a 3rd seed won 2 games against 2 other 1st place teams. So again, big hand to yourselves, parents. That's quite an accomplishment for this team. It's pretty amazing stuff, and that's where, as I look back through the history, it's really cool to see what has happened. and some of the records that were broken, and some of those things as a team, and as individuals. I will go ahead and start with all the.
Do you mind if I give out pictures?
No, that'd be great if you would, please. Yeah,
I
appreciate
took
that.
pictures
So-
of y'all, so hope you like them.
Oh, and these are always fantastic. Every year she's been doing this,
Can you
and
pass it back?
it's been really nice to see some of the photos that she's gotten throughout the years. She's a very good photographer. So I'd like to say thank you to you for doing that.
Okay.
Let's give her a big hand and appreciate you doing that for us. And I'd also
I don't recognize y'all off the body.
like to say thank you very much to Kitty for doing the videography for us.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That was valuable to me in a couple of ways. I was able to look back at the films that we've never had before and look at some things that maybe we could tweak here and there, but also for stats, because a lot of times, we didn't have all the stats accurate from that night. I would sit down and go through the videos on YouTube of those. They're still there for you to check out. And I would do the stats that way. So this year, I'd say we have the most accurate stats that, well, I wouldn't say, I know we've got the most accurate stats that I've ever had. And I've tried, and we often do it on paper and on iPad, and then we can compare them, and they're pretty accurate that way. But when I'm able to sit down there and pause it and put in every single stat, it's really helped us to have the best stats ever. So thank you again.
Thanks. Well, thank McVie, he's the IT.
Thank you,
That's big
thank you,
McVie that you guys.
All right, so thank you both. Thank you both very much. So we'll be talking about stats in just a minute, but we've got a lot of awards and certificates to give out here, and we want to do that, and then I'll let you know if we can arrange, if anybody would want to host. I'd love to get together and have some food and a swim party, maybe one of these last couple Saturdays before school's out. So if any of you are able to do that, we would love to do that, and let me know, and we'll get the word out to you if we can do that and come and celebrate the season that way. But we've got plaques for a few people who stood out, and we've got varsity lettermen, several for the first time ever, and we've got several repeating lettermen. And what the new first-time letterman will get is you'll get your varsity seat to go on a jacket if you choose to get a jacket, and you get this for the first time. If you've already been a letterman, whether in volleyball or another sport, then for a first-time volleyball letterman, you'll just get the volleyball to put on your letterman's jacket. And if you've already lettered in volleyball, you'll get a small bar to put on or underneath the volleyball, however you want to do that. And yeah. You just made me nervous because anytime they're giggling out there, I push my fly down. Why are they laughing? It's making me nervous. So we've got all those to give out, and we also have some scholar athletes. As a teacher coach, I respect these people tremendously because I value the educational part of school as much as the athletic part. So I'm going to start with that, and I want to first recognize two people who have lettered before, and they also got a scholar athlete patch before. So this year they get a scholar pin to put on that patch. So if I could have come up, please. Oh, let me give a little caveat before I do this. There's just a warning. For those scholar athletes, you know what I'm talking about. You can explain it to the other guys. There has happened, it seems like at least every other year, somebody should have gotten one of these and they don't, and I don't know. So if you think you should, raise your hand and we'll recognize you too, and then we'll get you a letter or a patch later on. They've made errors in the office. Things that happen. So if you are deserving of one of these and do not get one, please accept my forgiveness. I don't calculate it. I have no idea when it's done. So I just have to take their word for it. But every once in a while they have had a mistake. Somebody should have gotten it and didn't. Sometimes it comes down to when they qualify, and I believe the scholar athletes are determined by this last quarter, I think is when they determine it. And there was a different scholar thing that they determined at the previous semester. So if you think they made a mistake, let me know. But the two people who have gotten scholar athlete patches in the past and varsity letters got these pins are, I think you already heard it, and Brad Cougar. Even a senior. Why don't you stand up and get a picture here? Show off your pins right there.
Just get a picture of the mustache.
Yeah. Yeah. Here.
Like, can I just get a photo with the mustache?
Got it? All right. Congratulations for those. These two guys, you were right. You were 2 for 2 on that. These two guys are also scholar athletes, but it's their first time as varsity players being scholar athletes. And these two go to?
Trash.
You got it. I heard both names. John Paul and Ahmed. They got, these guys already got these. They got them last year. So they get this to go with it. There you go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Smile.
Man, throw back this little golf flag.
Wait. Congratulations.
JP, start flexing.
Okay, the next guys I want to have come up are the people who have gotten varsity letters in volleyball already. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. So you're going to get a little bar that goes on your patch. You can put it wherever you want, but it kind of signifies that you've already gotten the letterman, you've already gotten the volleyball. Now you're just getting a bar to signify that it's your second year getting that. So, I'll just come out and give these to you guys. We got Danny Enriquez. Brad Cougar. Brian Redmond.
Brian Cougar and Brad Redmond.
Ethan Tendler. Getting his third bar, Matt Yoshimoto. And again, like I said in the big room, I think it's only the second time. It's only the second time since I've been coaching, and I think only the second time in school history, as far as I know, and from what I can tell from the record books, that we've had a 4-year varsity letterman. So congratulations on that.
So much swag.
For my tenure, it was Chris Carlson. There's a couple other guys who are in the record books for 2 or 3 years that they did stuff, but I haven't seen anybody who's been in the record books for 4 years. So I don't know if you guys know Chris Carlson from a few years back. Do you know the Carlsons at all? They're from Janet, from your ward. I thought she was. Yeah, Janet Carlson. Her son Chris was 4 years. Those. And now the people who get their letterman. Oh no! First, let's go with the people who were varsity athletes. That doesn't look great. I'm sorry. 1 second here. I can. Normally, I like to have this all written down, all this stuff, but we had girls' tryouts today, so I didn't have like I usually like to sit for about an hour and organize some of this stuff. But these guys get emblems. Is it along with letters? Okay, they wrote 2 different lists for me. So let me go with guys that I believe have varsity letters in other sports first. And so you just get the volleyball. And I know that would be Nick Chunglo. Congratulations. He gets this to put on it. Congratulations.
Yeah, you got this after 3 years to the end.
Okay. If I'm correct, none of you have varsity letters in any other sport, do you, that are getting your varsity letter for the first time? Nick would be the only one? Okay. All right. So I got it. All right. So congratulations, first letter, and so he gets the emblem and the C. to go to Jacob Arredondo. And if your parents are, you want to get a picture? You want to get a picture? Oh, now they. Come on up, Jacob. Come on up. Got to get a picture of that. Make it official. Here, let me hand it to you. Come on over here. Hand me my left hand. Right. There you go. Congratulations. And they referred to him as freshman, even though he's really sophomore.
Damn, we're gonna flex. Biceps too strong. You're massive, bro.
And Bruce Corman, come on up. You gonna get a video put on YouTube for us tonight?
I am,
Right? Congratulations.
of course.
There.
Thank you.
Smile right here too. Oh, you got it. Ahmed Magari. Congratulations right there. And anybody else over there? For the YouTube?
Yeah.
There you go. Congratulations. Who's that? And Brandon Perry. Come on up. Looking for him on other parts of YouTube. There you go. His music.
You gotta pop them down on SoundCloud.
You are doing something on YouTube, right?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Oh yeah, that too.
Fire, coach.
I don't even know.
Okay, cool. So look for him on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
That's it.
It's a 3.5 fire.
And Abizikowicz. You get a bar. You're different because they don't have you on the roster here and all that stuff. So I do. So I will do a bar. I might have one in the back before I go. Let me check.
I won't trade this bar for the seat.
No. Ready? I'm free.
Dividend.
17.
1 to 17.
2.
1.
8.
What?
All right. This other thing I'm just going to give you is a certificate from the school. They kind of call it a certificate of completion. It's for your hard work all year, for putting up with me, for doing the extra practices, for putting in all the extra effort. So we have one of these certificates for each one of the guys too, and I want to give those out. So I'll just bring those out to you. John Paul Dillard, congratulations. Sarah.
Wow.
Brad Redmond. Ahmed Magari. There. Brian Cooker. There you go. Congratulations. Jacob. Nick. And Danny. No, don't peel it off. That's what makes it like special.
Coach, where's the ultimate on his car?
That's a scholar athlete. Don't think that's supposed to be right there under glass, all that stuff. Bruce Corman. Congratulations again. And Barry. Chandler. Congratulations. And Abizikowicz. There you go.
Should have
What?
Next week, you gotta get it on his name for the roster that goes up in the gym.
Okay. Yeah. And now on to the people who really stood out on an amazing team. Like I said before, it's incredible what these guys accomplished in the tough league and the tougher division and everything that you guys did. Told them as we're getting off the bus on Saturday, I'm always the saddest at this point of the season, particularly for the seniors that I'm going to miss. Having spent 4 years with a lot of you guys, 4 years on varsity with Matt, except for Nick. I wish it had been 4 years. But having seen and been around you guys for the most part for 4 years, and then to see you move on and to know that was the end of our time being together in practices and on those bus rides and going out to dinner and all that fun stuff. This has been a very fun team to coach. And, in, 19 years of guys and 9 years with girls and club, every once in a while there's a team season's over, thank goodness. But with this team, I wish it was going on for weeks longer because it's quality guys to be around. Parents, congratulate yourselves on that. You've raised a great group of boys, and it made for a great team to be together. So the biggest thing I'm going to miss is you seniors. And that's what's the saddest for me last Saturday and tonight, and as we move forward, as I say goodbye to you guys. But parents, thank you for doing a great job raising these great young men. So I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me coach them. But some of these guys stood out even among a fantastic team that we had, and that's who we got some plaques for. Some of them provided by the boosters, and I wanted to get a couple extra, so we added a few for you guys. So when you have a chance to see the boosters, thank them for doing stuff like that, for doing the letters and things like that. The first person that I want to recognize is, you always like to kind of build up suspense, but as soon as I even say what the award is, and I had guys text me what awards they thought should go out this year and who it should go to, and it was really unanimous on most all of the awards. And what was unanimous as a team, they all kind of picked the same group of guys that stood out among such a successful team. So this is from me recognizing you guys who get these awards, and from your teammates, from your peers. So know that this came from both. But every once in a while I kind of name some of the awards something a little funky rather than just simple hitter of the year or digger of the year. And this one I thought about doing that, but I thought, stretching it, you guys, I didn't know if you'd appreciate my kind of crazy sense of humor. That would have been good. But I thought this one should have been, this one, kind of in the theme of the Fast and Furious, I thought this one should be Fast and Furious 9, because this player, number 9, went from 0 to starter in about 2 weeks. Got it? Okay, good. Fantastic. Okay, again, I think, just give you one or two hints, this one's going to be pretty obvious. I think you all know that Matt was a setter his first 3 years being here. He was pretty good at it. Better mediocre. Pretty good setter for 3 years, setting varsity as a freshman. And then when I started hearing talk, around November, December, that Matt wants to play outside, I was like, no way. No, I can't have that.
So much less.
It wasn't at all that I doubted Matt's ability to play outside or libero or middle or offset or whatever position Matt wanted to play. He's on another level athletically. I want to be like him when I grow up. But I just thought that we could not afford to have him not be our setter until what came up with this, and I started also hearing some rumors that there might be somebody else who challenged some of the other guys for setter. And to me, that was the most surprising, and I didn't want to just call it the setter award or the assist award, kind of boring. So to me, it's the most surprising player award. So, he jumped over some JV setters. Let's get some last.
Yeah,
Literally.
Jumped over some JV setters. He stepped up and played well enough that I felt okay to let Matt
Oh,
and
Chris gonna
Ethan
take that.
play outside. So congratulations, good job. And to add to that surprise, he is now in our record books for the most sets in a single season. And he took that spot from somebody who's held it for a long time, for many, many months at least, and that was Matt. Matt had the record at 838, and John Paul set the single season record at 877. School. So, what's that? The old one, it's from long ago, way back in 2013, when you had 838 sets.
You got 40 sets right.
So he just broke your record. Of course, you can just say it's because he had you to set. So. Good job. You're still part of that record. You got 877 as the first year sophomore section. Congratulations.
How about 5?
This next one, a bunch of guys thought maybe most hustle, just willing, like gold digger, because he's just willing to dig for anything. But it did come down to it was pretty much a unanimous vote to give the best defensive player to almost. That was English. And your parents are happy. Good job. And he's got another year, and I think he might have a shot at the career dig leader. So we'll see if you live up to that next year. Except he wants to play outside. I don't know about all these people wanting to transfer to
Have you
outside.
seen a bounce coach? Straight down.
Yeah, he can. So just like this year, it took somebody filling in Matt's spot, it'll take somebody filling in your spot to be able to move you to outside next year. And this next player,
Start scouting.
don't take over. This next player, I don't know if I mentioned this last year, but was already in our record book last year. I don't know if I realized it then or realized it after the season ended when I was going through some stats. But already had his name in our record books and added another category this year. And again, could have just called it the best blocker award, most blocks. But more than that, this person's aggressiveness, I thought, brought something extra to the team. And that's why I called it not just the best blocker, most blocks, the most aggressive player, Brad Cooker. So, again, did I tell you that last year that you were in the record book? Okay, last year, 2014, he made the record book for most blocks at 140 in a single season. Last year, 140. This year added 118 more. So now already with another year to go, has the career block total at 258. And he took that away from a person who's had it since 1991 at 207, and a guy named Jason Miller. So congratulations, you beat out Jason Miller. Again, recognized by all his peers, but this one, I got about 5 or 6 or 7 different votes and nominations for what the award should be. Not that the person, everybody agreed the person should get an award, but just like all sorts of categories you can compete for. And it came down to what I thought, both in practices and in games, and especially stepping up in some of the most critical games, including Royal. I think both the league matches against Royal had his best games of the year. So the overall award that I thought kind of encompassed all the different ones that you guys nominated him for came down to me being something that I really admire because I consider myself to be this also, as you see when we're in drills and stuff. I'm extremely competitive, and I really honor that and recognize when another player is like that. and Ethan Tendler, the most competitive player on the team. Sometimes you gotta hate to lose even more than you like to win, and I think Ethan is like that, and it really helps the team a lot. We're talking. All right. Congratulations. I already mentioned, we already know the MVP, not that there was any surprise in that. And I mentioned all the things. Let me just cover one more time, in case you didn't hear it in the big room. The gym, yeah. Some people call it the gym, you're right. He was a league leader, and that's over Woody and against the Royals. Brandon Overander. And the Seamees hitters against over everybody with the highest percentage in league. And to me, that's even more important than highest number of kills, because that shows that his kills per attempt are very high. 346, which is amazing for an outside. You might think of that maybe for a middle opposites who get the sweeter sets off better passes. But 346 is an outside, the highest percentage. Why don't you stand up since we're talking about you here? Highest percentage, 346 in league. The most kills in league, 502. The most aces in league at 66. And let's see, he already held the record, and I think I did tell you this last year, for the most sets in a single season. No, I'm sorry. The most that was broken by somebody this year. You can beat him later. So he previously had that record, but it's not there anymore. But he did have and still has the record for the most service points, like not just aces, but if he serves and we win the rally, the server gets credited for a service point. Matt already had that in 2013 with 231 service points that year. He already had the school record for career total assists, so you got a little work to do there, at 1,987. I did calculate this. If he stays on pace, he'll eclipse that easily with over 2,000. If you stay as a setter.
He's going to go out.
So he was already in the record book there. In fact, this year he added, even as outside and / opposite, he added about 50. So he already had that record, he just added to it. But new in the record books, so those 2 plus 4 new categories. You now lead in career kills at 846 kills. That eclipses the 809 set by a guy a long time ago. His name is really familiar. It starts with a Y, ends with an O. Yoshimoto, first name Owen. So he broke Owen's career total of 809. He was a previous record holder. And now Matt has 846. And I didn't even really know about the sibling rivalry until we were at ice cream the other night. So over the weekend I was, finished all the stats and updated and corrected and watched a few more videos and stuff. But he beat out Owen's 2-year record. The only one to compare against his 2 years on varsity, by 3 kills. So, a little thing to brag about around the time. But you have the career total, you beat him by 37. Good job. You also are in the record books now as having the most career service points, beating out a guy named Dan Wachter from 1992. He had, was a pretty good career service points at 356. You beat him by a little bit, 757. Matt's also in the single season ace record leader with 66. Beat out Brady Andreessen, who was a very good player. I've heard a lot about him. He had 61 back in 92. And that was a really good team they had in 92, by the way, you can see from the records. It wasn't until like 2013 that a few people broke some of those, and now we've broken most of them. And then you're also the career total ace leader with 180, beating the next close guy, 86, not real close. And that was also Brady Andreessen set back in '92. So you doubled his at 186 categories that you are the career record holder. So congratulations. And you might like that. See some of those career records. And
Yeah, right.
so yeah, grab a plaque. Yeah, there you go. So all in all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All the highlighted records were broken by players on this team.
Wow.
So 9 career record holders were, and Matt is also just the second player to be the MVP of the team 2 years in a row. So again, congratulations. As I've said, it's been a real privilege to coach this team. This year, all the special things they've done, the seniors coming to an end, the Yoshimoto legacy of 7 years of Yoshimoto players coming to an end. Thank Coach back there for that. And all that you guys have done has been a true privilege and a joy for me to be a part of. So I thank you all for letting me lead you and be part of this team. So once again, my hat's off to you guys. Well, tonight's we're closed, but I'd love, if we have a chance, if anybody would like to have a party over the next week or two, I know some of you getting ready for graduation, but if we can make that happen, that would be a lot of fun too. So we'll keep it posted. All right, so have a great evening. I love you guys. See you around school in a few weeks. Yeah. No, you can, I won't write the absence tomorrow. We'll talk.